Good afternoon, everyone. From the New York Ovals in Glenville, New York, this is the 2025 Minor League Cricket Championship. Our match coming up features the New England Eagles taking on the Manhattan Yorkers. Good day, everyone. Brian Barish back here with you. We just witnessed a frankly bonkers opening game to our doubleheader here on Field 3 with the New Jersey Stallions hanging on to victory over the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. The Stallions remain undefeated at 4-0, but now we have two teams that would very much like a victory, including the Manhattan Yorkers, who are 0-3 heading into this weekend. The New England Eagles are 1-2. They suffered a pretty tough defeat against the Philadelphians yesterday and are hoping for victory against the winless Yorkers here to finish off the weekend. The Eagles will be off next weekend while the Manhattan Yorkers will travel down to Mercer Park in the Trenton, New Jersey area for a doubleheader on Friday against the Philadelphians, who are currently up against the NYC Titans, and we'll keep an eye on that game as well. Taking a quick look through the lineups, the Manhattan Yorkers, who are coming out to bat here. They have no changes from their game yesterday against the NYC Titans. Led by Captain Manoj Acharya. You see Derek Narine out there in the middle. Two changes for the New England Eagles as Vasu Malipali and Apurva Maheshwaram come into the lineup for Hamad Tanvir and Earl Henningham. The Yorkers in the we'll call that almost like Laker blue. It's almost purple at this point with the gold trim, and the Eagles in the reverse. They're in the yellow with the purple trim. These two teams have been scheduled for 8 matches previously. They have only completed 6, and of them, the New England Eagles have won 4. They have won the last 2, including winning on Saturday, as the Eagles won by 7 wickets with 14 to spare. And Adil Nushirwan, who's in the lineup, taking a 4-for. He was 4 for 25 with the ball and 38 not out. And then you had Rishikesh Bodhagam with 29 as well. So the Eagles set to put the ball in the play here. Final game of the weekend on the Eastern region. And this one is carted down the ground. It's starting well. And it's starting with a 6, it appears. And that is how you can't get any better start than that, folks. As this one driven down the ground and absolutely carted, tonked even. And Vaibhav Sankaran is greeted with a maximum. And the Yorkers are off to a flying start. They have had a very difficult weekend. It began on Friday, a rain-affected match against the NYC Titans, as this one is turned around, and this one is racing towards the rope, and it looks like it's going to get there. So 2 boundaries to start. Dinesh Patel is off to 10. And as we said, we take a look at it again. Sankaran trying to bowl him an inside line, but turned nicely around and hitting that one through mid-wicket. So 10 for none after 2 balls. Tries to drive this one again, but doesn't pierce the infield. They went for a single and got it. And so they're now 11 for none. Good job by Dinesh Patel. So we're mentioning the game on Friday was a rain-affected match. The Yorkers, after the interruption, were 13 for none. The game was reduced from 20 overs down to 6. And they essentially needed 31 off the last 3.5 overs to win. And the Titans' bowling attack, which was led by Sahir Bhatia, who has taken 4 more wickets today against the Philadelphians, was able to deny the Yorkers the victory. It's 11 for none as Narayan from the left side dabs it down. He wanted a run. Patel did not. And a dot ball it shall be. So we're underway here in game 3 of the day. Narayan, a big appeal. Nope. Narayan went to play defensively. And we'll see where this ball hits. It looked like it hit his back leg. And if that's the case, it probably would have been missing, not have hit in line. Final ball of the first over. And this time Narayan opens up and tries to drive, but right to a fielder, and that'll do it. First over. I think both teams will be happy with that. Manhattan Yorkers are 11 for none. Well, the Yorkers yesterday, as we said, faced off against their NYC, it's the Big Apple grapple, we'll call it. Derek Narayan got 37 before being LBW'd by Keshav Raval. And Dinesh Patel, who came in at number 5 and made 30 yesterday. It was Pranav Chetapalliam who was dismissed for 2 as part of the opener. So here is Noman Iftikhar, and all he did yesterday against the Philadelphians was take a fourfer. And when Nomi is bowling, you know you'll have some time in between because it takes him a while to get set up. He's like a bull pacing. But now he comes in from the Mohawk Highway end, and Dinesh Patel with a little dink ball down the ground to get off the mark. Nomi had a 3-for yesterday against the Philadelphians. He was 3 for 32. And I'll tell you what, the Eagles came very close to winning that game, and they looked like they were in control. But then Devashwari Prasad with a hat trick in the 17th over. In fact, in the 18th over, and then he took one more. Cornet Dry took one. And I'll tell you what, Cornet almost gave the game away. He gave up 19. He gave up 19 in his last over. But then Prasad came down and put the screws on, and that was all she wrote. But overall, the Eagles have played well to start this season as Patel faces. Full toss. And Derek Narayan, that is, who turns that around and goes all the way for 4. So Derek Narayan gets off the mark with a boundary. And they go to 15. A rare mistake from Noman Iftikhar right up at the belt line. And Derek Narayan, being Derek Narayan, makes absolutely no mistake. So 16 without loss. Narayan this time cuts away to the offside, but stopped by a fielder. That's Imral who makes it. No run. Derek Narayan, who's played all over the place in minor league cricket. He's played for the Manhattan Yorkers and the Philadelphians. Big appeal, or a half-hearted appeal, we'll say. And Derek Narayan is one of those guys who's, let's see. I'd love to get his full numbers for you. Still 2 balls to come. It is a very nice day in upstate New York. The temperature's in the mid-70s. There's been cloud cover for most of the day, but no rain, which is the most important part. Another full toss, and this one is turned around by Narain, but it is stopped at the deep. As Navneet Uruganti stopped it. It'll be given as a leg by. And Derek Narain will give you his full statistics from previously in just a moment. He played 4 seasons with the Philadelphians before coming over to the Yorkers last season. It's Dinesh Patel, however, who cuts this one away. It's stopped once again at the boundary, as it was Rishikesh Bodhagam who makes the stop. They do, however, pick up one more run. 2 overs complete for the Manhattan Yorkers. They are 18 for none. So what you're seeing there from Derek Narain is from the last 2 seasons in minor league cricket. He played with the Yorkers last year and top scored with 17. He has a top of 37 as Molly Polly takes the ball. Before that, in 3 seasons with the Philadelphians, he had in 30 matches, he scored a total of 607 runs, and he top scored in the first season with 74. He has, in our system here, he has 2 separate profiles, so that's where the numbers, because I was going to say, and remember him playing with the Philadelphians, I didn't see it here. So as Molly Polly throwing the ball around, we'll have a little bit of a delay. We have that one game going on the other field as Molly Polly is ready. And he'll bowl to Dinesh Patel, and that one goes sailing in Christopher Cross fashion. Don't worry, I won't sing, and that is a wide. So 19th run. So we see this one again, and Dinesh was like, I'll just take the run. Over on the other field, the NYC Titans, 55 without loss. They're in the 8th, chasing a target of 160 by the Philadelphians. As this one is fenced away almost defensively, in self-defense, we'll put it that way. And Dinesh Patel will take a run. He goes to 14. 20th run for the Manhattan Yorkers. As we said, the Yorkers, these 2 teams have completed 6 games. And Dinesh Patel in the second matchup in July of 2022 at Idlewild, top scored with 59 for the Manhattan Yorkers on a day when Bhaskar Yadram had a day. He had 44 with the bat and 2 for 35 with the ball. And the Eagles have been a team that have been usually towards the bottom of the standings in all of their in all 5 seasons so far. We are also waiting the resumption of play here. One turned around by Derek Narain and going to be stopped at the boundary. Getting that one in was Gurumuthy. The 21 for none. Vasudeva Reddy Malipalli. In his 7th game for the Eagles. last season. Took 4 wickets total in 5 matches, as this one is carved away by Narayan, and this one is going to roll and stopped again at the boundary. They don't get a run on this occasion. Or they do. It's 22 for none. As Dinesh Patel and got that one, and now it's Narayan who's back up. So 22 for none, just underway. The Manhattan Yorkers still looking for their first victory on this final day of the opening round of play. Went for a defensive shot, missed the outside edge. So good job for Malipal. He did have the wide, but came back with a couple of singles and a leg by. And we started the day with 11 games scheduled, and it seems like that all 4 games that were scheduled for the 2 venues in Texas were rained out again for the second day in a row. We have action, 1 game going on down south, a couple out west. And hits that one to third man with the outside edge. Ain't nobody back there. They'll get 4 more. Derek Narayan does well. And that takes him on to 26. Malipal again trying to stay on that off stump. But good job by Narayan, who is very well versed in being able to do it. And he is versatile just about everywhere. That he played very, very good hands as the opener in 2023. I'll tell you what, when he went last year, with him and Ryan Scott at the top of the Philadelphians order, they were a good 1-2 combination. And when he went to the Yorkers, they picked up Christopher Van Tull, who did very well in the opener. But now Van Tull is gone. As Malipal, that one was closer to the wicket. And Narayan, very lucky that didn't catch the stumps. As we see it again, a very, very good over from Malipal, or at least a good comeback to it. Just missed the top of the bail. 3 overs complete, halfway through the power play. The Manhattan Yorkers 26 for none. Iftikhar will get the ball again from the Mohawk Highway end. Here in Schenectady, and if you're watching us and you happen to be in reasonable driving distance, we invite you to come out for matches over the next few weeks. As Dinesh Patel turns this one around towards fine leg, they'll take an easy run. Iftikhar giving up 6 runs in his first over. He's a good pace bowler. Guy's been around a while. And has played with the New England Eagles. In addition to New England Eagles, he played with the Manhattan Yorkers in the past. Also played with the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. Played in all 5 seasons. And has 2 forfers for his name, both last season. In fact, had one the last weekend of the season last year. Well, he's took a 3-for yesterday against Philly. And he'll bowl to Derek Narayan. And didn't get all of that one. A quick peck at the stubs, but Narayan had the good sense to get his bat back. You can't sleep on Noman Iftikhar. And he was drubbed into the ground by Narayan, and then he saw Nomi go back, and good job of getting back a half beat. Good peg by by Iftikhar. I think the biggest thing as well is that he hit the stumps and it didn't bounce away. Comes in on his gloves, and this one is turned around to the onside. And they'll pick up a run. So 28 for none. Midway through this fourth over. And we know, everybody has a different style of bowling. And we mentioned Iftikhar, he's walking back, just kind of walking around. Then he makes the decision, I'm going to come bowl. And he makes the way around and he comes steaming in. Dabbed at to the offside by Dinesh Patel. And they take another run. 29 for none. Narayan's still on 8 as that was given as a leg by. And just looking at some of the other scores, we'll catch up in just a little bit. But here is Iftikhar to Narayan. And Narayan hits this in the air. There's a couple of fielders scurrying back. It's going to stay in play. And they'll get all of one run off of that. Good wood on that one by Derek Narayan, and a good wayfinding, but not enough to get anything other than the single. So 30 for none with one ball to play here in the fourth over. Driven along the ground, and Dinesh Patel will take another run to take him to 18. Derek Narayan is on the other side with 9. 4 overs complete from Glenville, New York. The Manhattan Yorkers 31 without loss. So a quick look at some of the other games that are happening, and the Titans are up to 66 without loss in their chase against the Philadelphians, as Maui Pally will continue from the river end. The San Ramon Grizzlies and LA Lashings in the second of 2 games between the two, or the first of 2 games. The Lashings are at 89 for 5 in the 16th. That game's on the West Coast. The Silicon Valley Strikers are taking on the San Diego Surf Riders. That game is upcoming. The Atlanta Fire go to 3-0. They remain unbeaten. A 9-wicket victory over the Fort Lauderdale Lions as they chase down a target of 121. I mentioned all the games in Texas were rained off. It looks like the Chicago Tigers and Lone Star Athletics have gone ahead. The Tigers are 19 for 2 after 5, as this one is hit to third man, and thankfully there was a man there, thankfully for New England. And they'll come through for a single. So Dinesh Patel goes to 19, 32 without loss. Know that the Kings 11 Dallas Michigan Cricket Stars game was called off. And then, of course, there was the game earlier with the New Jersey Stallions hanging on to beat the Somerset Cavaliers as Narayan drives the ball down the ground, but not able to take a run. Still 32 for none. Now, we mentioned the New England Eagles and how they've done in previous seasons. In 2021, they were with a record of 5-10. They finished last in the 7-team Eastern Division at the time. As Molly Polly comes in, appeal, no. And umpire explaining the decision. We'll see it again. Hit the back pad, but I think it may have been going over. Our umpires, by the way, are Ishan Mulay and Sandeep Sandy. Three balls to go in the fourth over. And this one is turned around on the onside. They'll take one, race to the rope. And good job by Imrul Hashib to limit the damage. So Narayan picks up another single. They go to 33 for none. So after finishing 7th in the opening season, they finished in 7th again with a record of 3-10 and 1 rainout. And then in 2023, they finished in third place with a record of 5-4 with 1 rainout. And there were 2 forfeit victories at the end over the Empire State Titans, if you'll recall. And coming down the track is Patel. It drops in front of the fielder. It ricochets off of him. And they'll get a couple more runs here, I think. We'll double check and see where this hit. As Patel shuffled down, cut it away. Let's see where the ball lands. And it was 2 feet in front of him. It goes off his right hand. They get 2 more runs, so 35 for none. Patel keeps the strike, cuts it away. He'll get 1 more run here. And that'll do it for the 5th over. A good clip for the Manhattan Yorkers. At the end of 5, they're 36 for none. So just to finish up the saga of the New England Eagles, so we were in 2023. And of course, they had qualified for a wild card spot, but the situation with the Titans, as you take a look at the points table for this season, the New Jersey Stallions, a 1.5 game lead over the NYC Titans as we stand now. The Titans win. They'll be a game behind. And who would have thought that? Young up-and-coming team. The Cavaliers are 2-2. As Dinesh Patel cuts it away, they'll get a run, stopped in the deep. They'll come back for 2 and get it easily. So Dinesh Patel on to 24. Manhattan on to 38. So the Eagles had to play a playoff that year against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. The Eagles losing out. That's been their only appearance in postseason play. And then last year, they were in the second half of that Eastern Division, finishing with a record of 2-6, tied with the NYC Titans for last in the 6-team Eastern Division. Iftikhar comes in again from the Mohawk Highway end. Dug into the ground. Iftikhar wanted a catch call, but Rizwan takes it, and there is nothing further. So the Stallions, as we say, 4-0. We're checking in periodically on the NYC Titans score. The Cavaliers are 2-2. New England Eagles win. They'll be in a tie for 3rd and perhaps even a tie for 2nd if the Philadelphians, in fact, we could, if they win and the Philadelphians hang on, we could have a 4-way tie for 2nd. The Yorkers still looking for their first win. And Iftikhar does not go through with his run-up. We said the weather today, picture perfect. Really haven't seen the sun today. It's been mostly overcast, but again, no threat of rain. We had rain on Friday, which affected both matches, reduced both matches. And a swipe by Dinesh Patel goes begging. No run. 3 more balls to come in the power play for the Manhattan Yorkers. And yesterday, against the NYC Titans, of course, they were chasing down a target of 162. And on the power play yesterday, they finished at 53 for 3. Iftikhar comes in. Cut away through the air. Couple of hops and over the rope to grandmother's house we go. Dinesh Patel motoring along. He goes to 28 off of 17. Another boundary. And for Dinesh Patel, that's his second. Looped, but nobody there to take advantage of a catch possibility. And Noman Iftikhar, for all his bluster coming up, has given up 16 runs off of 10 balls as they go to retrieve it. Well, Dinesh Patel, who has played his entire minor league cricket career with the Manhattan Yorkers, and this is 36th game, 661 runs. And you see Apurva Maheshram looking in the Brambles, as opposed to the Anthony Bramble, who is playing on the West Coast these days. But this has been a really good weekend, and there will be more cricket next weekend. We have 4 weekends of cricket, every team playing 10 matches. Well, they have formed an all-out search party for the ball, and I think you might need to write this one off, fellas. Well, I said there's several games next week, and then each of the next 2 weekends, and then the final. The top 2 teams, unless we hear any different, the top 2 teams in each of the 4 divisions go to the Super 8s, which is on the last weekend of September. So that'll be fun. That'll be at Grand Prairie. You see Rishikesh Bodhagam looking for the ball, and now Apurva Maheshram is going back. And anyway, we'll tell you again. By the way, our statistics are furnished by Crick Clubs. Go to crickclubs.com/MILC, and you'll see real-time scoring along with all of us and catch all the matches, including the schedules of minor league cricket. And for more information about minor league cricket, you can go to minorleaguecricket.com. Follow along on social media as well. And we'll peek at some of the other scores while they go searching for the needle in the very wooded haystack. The NYC Titans 88 for 1 in the 14th over as Karanchu Sharma is on 63, not out. He was one of the openers alongside Nimrith Shashidhar, who was out for 19. It was an opening partnership of 66. Pinak Ghosh is in there with Sharma. And that was Abdul Jabbar Muhammad who took that wicket. Again, we're in a delay as they're looking for the ball here. And, of course, if you're watching, want to say hello, you can reach out on our socials. MILC USA, they're bringing in a new ball. Probably should have done that 30 seconds ago, but that's okay. And if you want to find me on socials and say hello, I'm Brian Barish at Blue Sky, and on X, I'm Brian_Barish. So take a look at what's coming up for these teams next week. As we mentioned, the Yorkers playing 2 games on Friday in Mercer Park against the Philadelphians, and then the Eagles, and basically all the other 4 teams are off. The Eagles, the Titans, and then the 2 New Jersey teams are off next week. All right, Noman Iftikhar has himself a new ball. Usually, it's funny seeing them lose balls on a 4. Usually, you see them lose balls on 6s. But he has one. Dinesh Patel is ready, and we play on. In on the legs, and this one is turned around. Wasn't a clean pickup. The single all the same, or dot ball all the same. Well, I thought Dinesh Patel. It is. We see as we look up when the ball is hit, you see both teams, both players rather, dig in as if they're going to take a single, and they stop once the ball is picked up. Final ball of the power play to be delivered by Noman Iftikhar. Dabs down to the onside. And nobody really giving chase. And that will do it for the power play and the 6th over. Can't really complain if you're the New England Eagles. Manhattan kept in check. They still have their openers at the end of 6. They're 42 for none. And so we'll have a new bowler in for the New England Eagles. As we take a look at the scorecard through the power play, Derek Narine, 10 from 17. Dinesh Patel, 28 from 19. All kind of balances out as they have more than a run of ball. As you take a look at the both dugouts to the right of our commentary position. And it will be Imrul Hashib, who will bowl from the river end. And Hashib, a new name on the, a relatively new name, although he did play for the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers a couple of years ago. Left-handed spinner. It's a full toss, and it's laced, and that will be 4 more runs for Derek Narine. So Hashib comes in and is greeted with a boundary as Narine got full extension on that. And hit at about shin height. 2 hops and over the rope. And so Derek Narine is got it going on early as he goes to 14. He'll stand in again. Watches this one go wide. So 4th wide given up by, or 2nd wide rather, given up by Eagles bowling. And this one is skied in the air. Where is it going to land? It'll drop in safely. Mahesh Ram is there. And they'll come back for 2. And that takes them on to 49 for none. And the Yorkers, this looks very much like the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers innings in the last game. Narine cuts it away. But they aren't able to take a run. If you watch the first game, the Cavaliers, both their batters, once they got in, they were able to stay alive, but we're going at about a run a ball. That one is chipped by Derek Narine. And has gone through. And in fact, I believe that's been caught, and it has. Let's take a look at it again. See if we can catch it. It was chipped. That for sure we know. And in fact, it has been caught by Sankaran. And so Derek Narine has to walk. Hashib has a wicket. The Yorkers 49 for 1. Derek Narine playing a relatively soft shot. And he goes for 16 off of 21. He did have 3 fours. And so Imrul Hashib, who makes his return, making his return to minor league cricket this season, that'll bring on the guy who opened yesterday, Pranav Chetapaliyam. Chetapaliyam, as you can see, 184 runs from 18 matches. Yesterday, he got 2 before being caught by wicketkeeper Jala, duo of the NYC Titans. He has not had a whole lot, and that's why they've dropped him in the order. He had 3 runs on Friday, 4 runs yesterday, or on Saturday, and 2 yesterday, and Chetapaliyam will get off the mark with a single. That will finally bring up the 50 for the Manhattan Yorkers, with 1 ball to come in the 7th over. As Chetapaliyam gets off the mark, and now Dinesh Patel. The opening partnership goes for 49. As Imral started the walk-in, changed his mind. And now bowls in and bowls well. So a 4 and a wide for Hashib, but he battles back and takes the wicket of Derek Narine. At the end of 7 overs, the Manhattan Yorkers are an even 50 for 1. That was Imral Hashib's 15th wicket in minor league cricket. He has taken 3 already this season, 1 in each of the first 3 games he's played. He did not play on Friday. Here is Apurva Maheshram. And Apurva is a good bowler. As the New England Eagles trying to restrict Manhattan as best they can. Right now, the projected score is 142. And he knows this very, very well. He plays in the league here at the New York Ovals. He's a computer science student at the University of Massachusetts as well. Cut away by Chetapaliyam. And they'll take a run. 51 for 1. And Maheshram has been on the Eagles for some time. Fact is, been all 4 seasons of minor league cricket. He's been here with the Eagles as he rocks and gets ready to throw with the finger spin. And he turns this one around as Chetapaliyam, and there is a boundary for him. So Pranav Chetapaliyam, or rather that was off the bat of Dinesh Patel. And Patel goes to 32 as he picks up yet another boundary. That's his 3rd. And you got to be careful where you bowl him. He won't be afraid to swing. And that's one of the rare instances where you see a ball that, had it not made any contact with anything, would probably be called a wide. Driven down by Dinesh Patel with some speed, but stopped on the line, right in front of the rope. You get a run, and Dinesh goes to 33. Now here's Chetapaliyam. Batting from the left side against Apurva Maheshram. Goes with the reverse sweep. Was it a good idea? Oh, it was dropped. He was dropped, and he gets a life. And then he throws the ball away. A comedy of errors, and you can hear the Calliope music playing in the background. And Pranav Chetapalliam, very lucky, going back. You have to take that. I am so sorry, but you do. And it's Vasudeva Malipalli who puts Chetapalliam down. They got 2 off of that. And here's the final ball of the 8th over. Turns around to the onside. And that one will roll for a while down the fine leg. They'll get 2 off of that. And so Pranav Chetapalliam now has a season high with 6. 10 runs in that over for the Manhattan Yorkers, who after 8 overs are 60 for 1. Well, as it says in one of the lines of yesterday's New York Times crossword, to err is human. And that's one of those where, you know what? Shake it off. We got more game to play. And Imrul Hashib will come back in and continue from the river end. And Dinesh Patel fiddles with his gloves, picks up his bat, and heads to the crease. The Yorkers batting at a clip of 7.5 and over. I don't think we mentioned, by the way, we were getting on and tell you that the Eagles actually did win the toss and sent the Yorkers in. And this one is driven along the ground with some pace. It's going to be stopped in front of the rope. And they will pick up a run. So 61 for 1. Brian Barish here with you. Glad that you've joined us here on Labor Day. Hope that your weekend and your summer has been great. And hope you'll stick around with us for the next 4 weeks after this for exciting minor league cricket in season number 5. Cut away again with some speed by Dinesh Patel. Or rather by Dinesh Patel. So Chetapalliam goes to 7. Patel on 34. Let's start looking at Dinesh Patel's high, which is 86. That's all the way back in 2022. Driven again to the onside. This one, I think, may have caught something because it slowed down pretty quickly. He goes to 35. Chetapalliam back on strike. Smashed. Smash, but not, or is it? No, through his hands. From here, though, it looked like it bounced before it went over the rope. And another fielding miscue costs the New England Eagles. And we'll take a look again and see where it landed. Not a bad ball from Hashib. He had it all the way. He was lining it up and then went over his hands, went over his shoulder, and it did hit the ground first. So it is a 4. So Chetapalliam goes to double digits. And another drop catch. 67 for 1. That was a looping ball that ended up being a Yorker. And Chetapalliam will take that for a run. Hashib has not bowled badly. Unfortunately, the numbers, this is one of those cases where the numbers aren't reflecting that too much. He's now 1 for 16. He has one ball to bowl. to finish out the 9th over. Driven into the ground to the offside. And Patel will keep the strike, I believe. No, he won't. Well, Dinesh Patel was coming down once again, but that will do it. So it will be Patel rather, who keeps the strike as we head into the 10th. The Manhattan Yorkers are 69 for 1. We're keeping an eye on, as we have been all day, some of the other matches. As we said, there were 11 matches scheduled. The Chicago Tigers LSA, that's Lone Star Athletics match, has gone ahead in Texas on a weekend where they have really struggled with the weather. They've already had one game rained out, the game between the Michigan Cricket Stars and Dallas. Kings 11 Dallas was already rained out, as Apurva Maheshram will come in from the Mohawk Highway end. And he'll face Dinesh Patel, who drives this one to the offside. Stopped nicely. And another overthrow. Well, that's been the key. 2 drop catches, a couple of overthrows. And Dinesh Patel goes to 37. Manhattan on to 70 for 1. And, you know, the New England Eagles, they have been improving in every aspect of the game as the season has gone on and as this competition has gone on, but you really can't be doing that, especially against a team like the New England or against the Manhattan Yorkers, who, when they come up and in the field, are going to have a good bowling attack. Is Pranav Chetapalli mildly annoyed that Rizwan is fixing his gloves and whatnot behind. And some dispute here. I don't know that they're discussing wallpaper coverings at the moment. The umpire, they're bringing somebody's bringing out new gloves, it looks like. So that's the delay. The one game on the other field that we've been keeping an eye on, because it does pertain to the standings, is that the NYC Titans need 31 from 27 to go to 3-1 as they play the Philadelphians, as Chetapalli jumps up and cuts it away. Stopped at the rope. Another run. He goes to 13. Garanchu Sharma, by the way, still in the crease for the Titans. He is 86 not out, and he has a partnership of 63 runs with Pinat Ghosh. Philadelphians in danger of dropping to 1-3 to start the season. Looping ball turned around by Dinesh Patel, rather. Another run. He goes to 38. 72 for 1. So, yeah, lots of action. And, you know, when this game ends, we'll invite you to join and watch some of the other games around, not just today, but as we head into next weekend. As we mentioned, we'll have a couple of games on Friday, including the 2 in Mercer County in New Jersey. Chetapalli with a little check swing, but into the waiting arms of Rizwan Mashar. This one is driven to the onside. Stopped by the fielder. They'll get 1. Throw in is good, thankfully for them. Chetapalli on the 14. On pace for 148 right now. We saw a score of 151 just get chased down. Dinesh Patel will face the final ball of the first half of this innings, and it will come up in a minute as Maheshram backs out of it. I feel like 150 is a good score. I think at this point, maybe even 160 might be even a good score. Down on the ground goes Patel. And Dinesh will take 2. And that will do it for the 10th over. So Dinesh Patel goes to 40. We are at the midway point of our final game in today's action here in New York. The Manhattan Yorkers are 75 for 1. So everybody will get some drinks, get some fluids in them. As we said, it's not a hot day at all. It's a very comfortable day. The sun has not been out much. And the Manhattan Yorkers, they're hoping that their bats will get hot, and so far they have been. And the difference here, I think, between this and the game that we just saw with the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, the Cavaliers in that game, in case you missed it earlier, they were playing the New Jersey Stallions, and they did a good job. Their openers in Chandra Paul Hemraj and Kennard Lewis, and then once Lewis got out, it was then down to Ali Imran and Gajanan Singh, who put on a partnership of 53. The problem is that they were going at less than a run a ball, and they were really in a very precarious situation. At one point, they found themselves, they found themselves looking maybe with a prospect of defending a total of about 120. But then Kevin Christian came up and went 27 for 7 not out, including 2 4s and 3 6s in the 20th over to set that target of 152. And then the New Jersey Stallions, well, that was a very rough finish. As we take a look at the card for the Manhattan Yorkers so far, Derek Narayan, the one batsman who got out, as he chipped to Sankaran off the bowling of Hashib for 16. Dinesh Patel and Pranav Chetapalliam have come in and steadied things a bit. Their partnership currently sits at 26. But the most important thing, the point I was trying to make, is that you look at Dinesh Patel, 40 off of 28. That's a really good clip to be hitting at. If you're hitting at, maybe a strike rate, and his strike rate right now is 142, that's almost a run and a half a ball. That's where you got to be. And then Pranav Chetapalliam on 127, his strike rate. So it's about a run and a quarter a ball. That's the pace you have to go. So the question is where is this wicket going to come from, as the Eagles have used 5 bowlers already, and they have all given up double digits in runs. Hashib, as we said, the only one with a wicket, 1 for 17. Brian Barish here with you again, thanking you for your company. As here is, in fact, the bowling figures. As we mentioned, Hashib with the 1 wicket on 49, but Iftikhar has given up 16 runs in his 3 overs. He hasn't bowled badly. It's just been very difficult. Sankaran gave up 11 in his 1. But now the second half will begin, and we have a new bowler, and Chetapalliam greets him with a cut shot to square. It is Navneet Uruganti, and he gives up a run on his first ball. Navneet making his minor league cricket debut. He's taken a wicket in 2 of the 3 games so far. Dinesh Patel comes to strike 10 away from a half century. And cuts out one of the third man. They'll take a run. We're back to a run a ball. And when you're in the position where you can do that, you can take that. But just to finish up what happened in the last game, the openers for the New Jersey Stallions put on a large opening partnership, and it looked like they were going to cruise. And this one is hit well by Chetapalliam. Does it have the distance? No, it doesn't. It is caught in the deep. And Pranav Chetapalliam goes, and Oroganti gets another wicket, his third of the season. And the Yorkers lose a guy who was their opener. He only gets 15 on this occasion. This is a fantastic catch coming forward and to the left. And Chatapalliam has to go. The Yorkers are 77 for 2. This is a good length. He got around the ball. Wasn't a badly hit ball, but it was caught. And you see Rizwan Nazar with the celebration. And so that'll do it for Pranav Chetapalliam. And you can give that catch to Sankaran, who takes his second of the day. So Oroganti with a breakthrough. And now that'll bring on Karen Vashodia, beg your pardon. Was held to 1 run yesterday against the Titans, had 28 on Saturday, and was held to 1 run previously on Friday. So it's hopefully can channel some of the energy from Saturday. And for Oroganti, now he would love another wicket. Cut away, and just a third man. Not enough to score. Remains 77 for 2. And this one is turned to the onside. And Vashodia will get a run. And he is off the mark. 78 for 2. And Dinesh Patel will come up. "41 off of 29, 3 4s and a 6. He has 3 50s so far in his minor league cricket career. Looping ball driven to the offside. They take one. They're going to come back for a second and get it easily. And Dinesh Patel ends the 11th over with 43 runs. Vashodia just into the crease is 1 off of 2 after 11. The Manhattan Yorkers are 80 for 2. Score update from the other oval as the NYC Titans need 24 off of 16 to chase down the Philadelphians. And Karachu Sharma has finally gone as he was caught out by Raymond Ramratan. Big wicket for Devashwari Prasad. So Sharma 89 off of 53. The NYC Titans 136 for 2. They require 24 off of 16. Over here on oval number 3, now Sherwan will come in. And he has had a pretty solid afternoon. A pretty solid weekend, I should say. Anil Sherwan, who took 4 wickets in the game on Saturday. And Vashodia swings through the first pitch, the first ball. So far, Nal Sherwan has taken wickets in all 3 games so far. He has a total of 6. As he bowls round the wicket. Went through it, didn't hit anything. It will be given as a wide. It will be at least 2 runs here. And finally chased down by the subfielder. I believe that's Earl Henningham, number 33. So 82 for 2. Or as Richie Benno used to say, 82 for 2. fact, they were given as leg buys. They weren't so well, according to given as leg buys, as Vashodia lifts one over the infield, and that one will scamper all the way down to the boundary for 4 more. So 86 for 2 as Vashodia gets into the fun. I think what happened on the previous ball is it did, in fact, catch the leg, so it ended up being given as leg buys. Here it is again. Just lifts this one over nicely and into a gap. And that is a 4 they needed. It's been a while since they've had a boundary. He goes again, this time to the onside. And it will be stopped in the deep. They'll take another one. 87 for 2. Let's see, the last 4 they had, you got to go all the way back to the 9th over. So it's been 3 overs since they had a boundary. As Dinesh Patel back on strike on 43. Now Sherwan thought about going forward. Now he waits for Dinesh Patel to be ready. He is. And here we go. Driven down, back to the bowler, no run. Was chopped back into the ground. Last ball of the 12th over. Opens up, cuts it away. Fielder is there. He's got to dig in to get it. Didn't pick it up cleanly. Now does. And 2 more runs for Dinesh Patel, who goes to 45. He's on 45 off of 32. Karen Vashodia is 6 off of 6. 12 complete here in Glenville, New York. Beautiful Glenville, New York. It's 89 for 2 for the Manhattan Yorkers. Oh, hey, look, I found the unknown. Well, that's his name. Never mind. I was going to say I found the unknown Mega Man character, Sadman. But in any event, there was some practicing on one of the vacant ovals here as Oroganti comes in. And this one is driven, chopped back down over his head, and will go for 4. The fielder was chasing. He was hoping to do a little soccer action to it, but Vashodia gets his second boundary, and he goes to 10 So Oroganti coming around the wicket, and this one was drubbed back down into the ground. And that was Molly Polly, who was coming around. Here's a reverse sweep chance. That one went curly-cue backwards behind the wicket. And well, he tried to get cute there, did Karen Vashodia, but no run. He had his ears up after that one. And he drives this one deep. Is there a fielder? There is. Is there a catch? There is. Apurva Maheshram makes the catch, and that is the end of Karen Vashodia, who decided it was time to accelerate, but he was pulled over for speeding as Oroganti has his second wicket. And the Yorkers lose another one. They go to 93 for 3. So Oroganti now 2 for 9 from 9 balls. And it is now Deep Patel who will come in. So Dinesh and Deep Patel. As that partnership lasted all of 16 runs between Vashodia and Dinesh Patel, one of the 2 openers. Derek Narine, the other one, was caught out early. He went 4 balls after the power play ended. And so this is a very interesting situation here for the for the Eagles and in terms of how aggressive they want to be, and really in the same way how aggressive Manhattan wants to be. Again, looking at about 150, at least mathematically speaking. Deep Patel in the gold helmet. That's from the right side as Oroganti continues round the wicket. Turned around to the leg side. Deep Patel is off the mark. When they take a single 94 for 3, and here is Dinesh Patel. Score update from the other field. The Titans need 9 runs from 8 balls to defeat the Philadelphians. And if they can do that, they'll move to 3-1 and will be a game behind the New Jersey Stallions for first place in the East. What a turnaround that's been. The Philadelphians will be at 1-3 and will be in all sorts of trouble. Patel cuts his way to the onside. Dinesh Patel will take one. A little bit of a, like, hey, if you're going to come that far down, foul the wicket. Rizwan Nazar said, wait, get back. Get back to where you once belonged, said a couple of guys from Northern England. 95 for 3. And it's Deep Patel in the gold helmet to face the last ball of the 13th over. And he cuts this one away. Fielders are waiting. And that'll do it. 13th over comes to a close. They get 7 more runs. The Eagles take another wicket. 13 down. The Manhattan New Yorkers are 96 for 3. Adil Nushirwan will come in and continue from the Mohawk Highway end. And Deep Patel strokes a single. 97 for 3. Again, keeping an eye on the, because it does very much impact the standings. The Titans need 5 off of the final 6 balls, the 5 off the final over to defeat the Philadelphians. And again, that happens. The Titans will move to within 1 game. They'll be 3-1, and they easily could have been undefeated. They fell just 1 run short of upending the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. Patel hits this one in the air. It's caught. There will be no half century for Dinesh Patel as he caught a top edge, and it was caught in the slips. And so the Yorkers lose their 4th wicket. And Nushirwan gets his first, 96 for 4. And it was Oroganti who now has been involved in 3 of the 4 wickets, having taken 2 with the ball. And he denies Dinesh Patel his 4th minor league cricket half century. That's a huge wicket, and now they'll have to contend with Inshan Sharma, who comes in at number 6. As we take a look at what's happened in the what they did in the previous match, and this would have been yesterday. So Inshan Sharma, as we stick with the Beatles references here, coming off 26 yesterday against the NYC Titans. He had a duck on Friday. And they're looking for it. They're looking for it. They're looking for it. They're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. He almost was bowled for his second duck of the round. He had 3 runs on Saturday. Done well with the ball. He took 2 wickets. Well, this was went from last year. He was with the Yorkers a season ago. 3 balls to go in the 13th over. Sharma gets enough of it, stopped by one fielder, but not enough to prevent a run. So Sharma off the mark on his second delivery, 98 for 4. And Deep Patel and he cuts this one away all the way down to the boundary. And they scamper through for another run. Deep Patel in his 10th match, 1 in the match yesterday, 18 on Saturday, 8 on Friday. His high, he had 18, and his highest, the only one he's had higher than that was in the last year where he had 46. So it's Sharma now facing. They wanted LBW. They are not going to get LBW. Nosharan with a great over, 3 runs off of it, and the big wicket of Dinesh Patel. 14 overs complete from Glenville. It's Manhattan Yorkers 99 for 4. Oroganti comes back in to bowl his 3rd over. This one is chipped up by Deep Patel, and it will land for a single, and that will bring up the 100 for the Manhattan Yorkers. It comes 14 overs and 1 ball in, and Deep Patel goes to 5, so 100. And looking at a projected score of 142, it's come down a little bit, and so is the run rate as Sharma dabs it to the onside. They'll take 1. It's slow enough to where they probably could think about a second, but they won't, and they'll get 1. 102, 101 for 4. And we can tell you that the NYC Titans have won their game over the Philadelphians by 7 wickets, and the Titans, the second place NYC Titans. What a story that is as Oroganti comes in, and this one is chipped away to the onside by Deep Patel, beg your pardon. Looks like they'll get another run. You see Molly Polly, who put down that one catch earlier. That was a big couple of drops. This could be a much different situation had they held on to those 2 catches as Sharma opens up and smacks out one to the infield where it's stopped. Nice play there by Noman Iftikhar. I'm sure we'll see bowl further. The one is driven along the ground. So 1 ball to come. Oroganti has bowled well. Kept everybody under a run of ball. Now it is driven to the offside. Pull away nicely, and Deep Patel ends it with a 4. So as well as Oroganti has been bowling, Deep Patel finds a spot, and Lash LaRue's that one through for a 4. So 15 overs complete, 107 for 4. As you see Noman Iftikhar reach unsuccessfully. So Instant Sharma begins the 16th over. As now Sharon comes in for his third. He is 1 for 10. Took that big wicket the last time he had the ball. Driven down the ground to deep mid-on. And Sharma comes through for a single. 108 for 4. And again, you expect a game like this, on a pitch like this, something over 150 would do it. As Deep Patel cuts this one away. I'm thinking 2 runs here. They'll get it. 2 more for Deep Patel. 2 more to the total. 110 for 4. No Sharon bowling in different places here. Driven down by Deep Patel. That's a straight drive, and they'll take 1 more. 111 for 4. 111 Lord Nelson or something like that. In on the shoelaces, and Sharma almost scraped it off of his shoelaces. More runs here. In fact, it's a single. And they are just ticking along the scoreboard. And again, I wonder at what point they're going to open up and bust loose here. And now Shawan, to his credit, has been bowling very tight. Really, a lot of the New England Eagles bowlers have. He ends on a single. They get 6 more to the total. 16 complete. The Manhattan Yorkers 113 for 4. Well, there we see some very good cricket fans and a very good doggo. Here is a look at the updated table with the NYC Titans defeating the Philadelphians. As you see, they are 1 game behind the Stallions, just 2 points. The New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers at 2-2. If the New England Eagles can win, they'll be in a tie for third. The Yorkers at 0-3. If they can manage to get this victory, there will be a 3-way tie for 4th place. But how about the Philadelphians with some of the pickups that they had? Cornet Dry, Raymond Ramratan. They were really looking forward to this season, and it's got to be a disappointing start. They'll have 2 chances at this Manhattan Yorkers team as Mally Pally will have to still shaking off that drop earlier in the innings, will come in for his 3rd over. Noman Iftikhar still has 1. They decide to use him in the depth. Oroganti still has 1. They could really go. They've got, as Molly Polly's about to bowl his 3rd, and he stops. Hashib still has 2. Mahesh Ram has 2. Nosharan still has 1. And they had brought in Valbhav Sankaran, who bowled the very first over. We haven't seen him since, after giving up 11 runs. Here's the ball. Swung right through that one, and Patel went with sort of a defensive / dab down to third man type swing. So he begins with a dot ball. Again, in the same spot, although this time Patel makes contact. And they scamper through for a single. 114 for 4. The New England Eagles, as we said, in the matches so far this season, they got 95 in the opening game. They got 112 in a winning chase against the Manhattan Yorkers in the first game between these two sides. That game was on Saturday. As this one is driven, and again, it will go back to third man as he caught a thick edge. He had the slide to keep the ball in play for 4. That should be an easy 2. And Inchin Sharma does well to pick up a couple. And of course, the Eagles getting 165 in a losing effort yesterday. So we'll see. If I'm the Eagles, I'm as long as you keep the ball in the oval, you're okay with the odd 1 or 2. As Maui Paui comes in, and there was a big swing by Inchin Sharma. And in this case, Inchin Sharma got him. As you see the stance, and he took his eye off the ball. That really was a flail. Very agricultural, as they say, across the pond. 2 balls to go in the 17th. Popped up high in the air. If there's a man, there's a catch. There's a man, there's a catch on the second bite of the cherry. Rishikesh Bodagam had it, lost it, got it again, held on. Inchin Sharma is going to get him. And it's 116 for 5 as he has to depart. Didn't really look comfortable and got up underneath of it. And this was not an easy catch for Rishikesh as he comes over and makes the play. And the man in the deep said, okay, that's fine. Polite claps all around. Inchin Sharma goes for 7. Manhattan Yorkers 116 for 5 with 1 ball to go in the 17th. And we have a new man out to join Deep Patel. It is Yasser Muhammad. And Yasser Muhammad, for a guy who generally bats down towards the bottom, this is not going to be easy for the New England bowlers. As you see, this is 44th match, 324 runs to his name. Mainstay across this division, played for the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers early in his career. He does have a 50 to his name, having scored 52 back in June of 2022, but since then, 25 early last season is his highest. He scored over 20 3 times since then. He will face the final ball of the 17th over. He's going for a reverse scoop, and I think he missed it completely. It did go into the hands of Rizwan Nazar, but it is a dot ball, and that will do it. Great over by Maui Paui, who gets a wicket and gives up 3 runs. 3 overs to go in this first innings. Manhattan, 116 for 5. See the surroundings here at beautiful Glenville. Sorry, I was going to say Glenville, but it's the New York Ovals is what it's called. And the day that has been pretty cool, mostly in the 70s, and the clouds have been dominant. It's been mostly cloudy as Nosharan will finish his innings, and that will be he finishes Deep Patel, clean bowls him, and Nosharan has his second wicket, and Deep Patel, after putting up a pretty good resistance, goes for 15, and the Manhattan Yorkers 116 for 6. That was a great ball by Nosharan, who has bowled extremely well. And Rizwan Nazar has no issue being the guy picking up the wickets at the end of it, picking up the stumps, rather. As we see it again, just taking off the leg side bail. And it will be the captain, Manoj Acharya, who will come out. Manoj, known more for his work with the ball than with the bat, but he does have 171 runs. He's known for the last stat in that little block, the 62 wickets. And he defends an aerial ball, but doesn't go any further. No run. And Manoj Acharya, his best is 34. That was 2 years ago. Comes forward. Rizwan feigning the stumping, and Nosharan has bowled extraordinarily well. 2 for 16. Cut away by Manoj Acharya. That looked kind of awkward. And there is no run. Manoj Acharya, the man on the near side of your screen in the yellow helmet. And Yasir Muhammad is on the other end in the blue helmet. Turns away to the onside. They'll take one. Big ping back in the other way. They do get the run as Bodegum, who took that fantastic catch a little earlier, he was on that in a flash. Last ball for Adil Nosharan in this game. And nothing there. Now, that, I believe, may have been a run out at the non-striker's end chance. Judging by the way he was going, I think that may have been the case. But no funny business here, as it's cut away by Yasir Muhammad through one ring of infielders. Again, Bodegum gets the ball back in quickly. Yasir Muhammad will keep the strike. A little drop by Rizwan Nazar. A little bit of jabbering, if you will. 18 overs complete. They get 2 runs in that one. The Manhattan Yorkers are 118 for 6. So Mali Pali will come in and finish his bowling spell. He's 1 for 15. He's settled down and has played well. Yasir Muhammad will face the first ball with 2 overs to go. And driven well to the offside. And it is, well, that's going to become a plaything for one of the squirrels in the woods there. It's a 4 for Yasir Muhammad. It was driven away nicely, and he went down. That's the sort of thing that you're going to get all or nothing on, and he got all of it. And that one skipped into the woods. You see him setting up nicely. And just got it under edge, but it bounced high. So 122 for 6, and curious as to how long it's going to take them to find this one. Looks like they may have already. We take a look at just some of the matches that are happening around minor league cricket as we go ahead around the grounds, as we are wont to do. The games that are happening here. And they're good. They've brought the cart to go and find the ball. So we'll see how that goes. The Silicon Valley Strikers are playing the San Diego Surf Riders. Strikers rather, 86 for 1 in the 10th in that match. The Chicago Tigers are playing the Lone Star Athletics. Looks like they are going to get that game in. They are at the innings break after the Chicago Tigers went 115 for 6 as we continue here. I believe with a new ball. Great ball by Pally to come back just under the bat of Yasser Muhammad, no run. And then the first of two between the LA Lashings and the San Ramon Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are very close to chasing down a target of, they have 13 overs to get 15 runs. They are battering the Lashings. You might say they're lashing the Lashings, as this one is hit well by Yasser Muhammad. Where is this going to land? Over the rope and 6 more runs. And Yasser Muhammad now says, well, we got to defend the total here, boys. Let's add 6 more to it. As he came in and swatted this one nice and true. Well, we said Yasser Muhammad can, on occasion, wield the willow, and he got all of that. That felt really good. And he goes to double digits. 128 for 6. 9 balls left in the innings. Pally has given up 10. As Rizwan Mazar, the wicketkeeper, and the captain, setting his field. Muhammad goes again. Is it enough? It's a boundary. It's another one for Yasser Muhammad. And that one went right through the tent. Send the dog after it. He'll find it. Another 6 for Yasser Muhammad. Back-to-back jacks for him. Drove it sweetly to the offside. He went left, he went right. Here it is again. Pow. So Vasudeva ready, Pally getting torched here in his last over. He has allowed 16 runs. He has 2 balls still to bowl. Reverse sweep time, and this time he's gone. Or is he? They were celebrating. Well, they were all celebrating. Everybody thought that was a wicket except for the one guy that counted. He went down for the reverse sweep. And we'll see it again in a moment, I'm sure. Here it is. He was eyeing this all the way. And we got the extra zoom in. All right, let's see. So it does hit the pad, but I think it was, I think that ball may have been going down leg, if you can believe it. I think it was far off. So I think that was a great non-call. It looked, because usually when you go down in through a reverse sweep and the ball hits your pads, it's pretty obvious. But in that case, it wasn't. Muhammad will keep the strike after he gets a single to end the 19th. 1 over to go. The Manhattan Yorkers, 135 for 6. So Imrul Hashib, who got the first wicket of this innings, will come in to bowl out here in the 20th over. And Yasser Muhammad on 18. And as we said, it's been a while since he had a big score. As we said, September 6th of last year, he scored 25 runs. And I think he'll be swinging with reckless abandon here. Hashib's first delivery comes in. He says, let's open up the Pistons, boys. Will it have enough? It sure does. Another 6 for Yasser Muhammad, and that is another one. That's his third in 5 balls. And Yasser Muhammad goes to 24, and the Manhattan Yorkers may very well put up a decent total here. 141 for 6. And we're seeing the same situation in the last game with the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers and Kevin Christian. And he ended up getting 27 off of 7, facing the last 7 balls of the ball game. Yasser Muhammad has no fear. He's up to 24. Again, he comes across, but this time he pops it straight up. Is there a fielder? There is, but there's no catch. I believe that might be 2. They're still running, and Yasser Muhammad will get 2 more. And he'll keep the strike. In fact, he'll get 3, and it will be Manu Acharya who will come up. Yasser Muhammad, 27 off of 10. This was always going to be a difficult catch because he hit this one down the ground to long off rather. And it was a difficult attempt there. And so Manu Acharya, I bet you'd like to get Yasser Muhammad back on strike because he's feeling it. Except he's bold. And, well, he won't get Muhammad back on strike, but he'll have to go. And so Hashib picks up his second wicket. And we said Manu Acharya, and that one will be a stumping, as Rizwan Mazar does well. He was always going to try and swing that down the ground. So a second wicket for Imrul Hashib, and that will bring on Ali. It'll be Farhan Ali, 26 matches. And he has played mostly in the Pacific Conference. In fact, played the first 3 seasons for the Chicago Tigers and Michigan Cricket Stars. All told, 96 runs total. Another guy who very much more known for his performance with the ball. But he will get a run here. Farhan Ali, and will bring Yasser Muhammad back on strike for at least one of the last 2 balls. Manhattan 145 for 7, and it may almost be deja vu all over again. As we mentioned, the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers ending with 151. And here he goes again. Will he get another 6? Yes. That was a supreme effort by Bodegum in the field, but not enough. And Manhattan brings up their 150 on the penultimate ball of their innings. And Yasser Muhammad has his highest score in 2 years. As he goes to 33 off of 11 balls. And he dribbles this one along the ground. Let's see if they decide to take a second one for giggles, and they do. And Ali, I believe, or Muhammad appears to have been run out. We'll double check that in a moment. It looks like they got at least 1 run. But for Yasser Muhammad, who really just threw caution to the wind and got rewarded for it. Here is the play at the striker's end. It is easily a run out. And I believe it was Yasser Muhammad who was the man who was run out. But in any event, 152 for 8 is the final tally, I believe. We're just waiting for them to confirm that here at the ground. But What an innings it was as the Manhattan Yorkers, and that feels like such a long time ago that Dinesh Patel got out for 46 after he and Derek Narayan put on an opening partnership of 49. And from there, the Eagles really strangled the Yorkers trying to move forward. But Yasser Muhammad, 34 off of 12. The final tally, 152 for 8. Yasser Muhammad, 34 off of 12 with a 4 and 4 sixes. And 2 wickets each for Imral Hashib, who was 2 for 34. Navneet Organti, who was 2 for 20. And Adil Nosharwan, who was 2 for 18. Vasudeva Reddy Malipalli had 1 for 32. So once again, almost they were 1 run short of it replicating the target in the first game. The Manhattan Yorkers have set the New England Eagles a target of 153. If they can defend it, they'll have their first win of the season. If not, the Eagles will pick up their second. Don't go anywhere. It'll be an exciting chase. We'll have it for you in about 10 or 15 minutes time right here on the MLC Network. Now we welcome you back here to the New York Ovals here in Glenville for the run chase, the final 20 overs of the day here on the Eastern Division of the Minor League Cricket Championship for 2025. Brian Barish back here with you. Glad to have you along. Here is a look at how the first half went with Dinesh Patel putting on 46 runs, playing very well, perhaps getting out very devilishly indeed, 46 for 34. Yasser Muhammad, however, 34 for 12 at the end to give the Yorkers a pretty good total that they can defend, the target of 153. Adil Nosharwan Maruganti with 2, as well as Hashib also had 2 as well for the New England Eagles, who perhaps were let down a little bit by some of their fielding mistakes, and probably would have ended up with a target of about 20 runs less. But we are set to go for what should be an intriguing run chase. The New England Eagles scored a couple of more runs. In fact, they had scored 153 yesterday in defeat to the Philadelphians. And so it is possible for them to do it on this ground. In fact, it was 165 is what they scored in defeat, as they were unable to chase down a target of 168 that the Philadelphians had set. And if the Eagles can win, well, they will be in a tie for third place in the Eastern Division. They'll be in a tie at 2-2, and if they lose, then they'll be in a three-way tie for fourth place. Manoj Acharya to Sankaran, who cuts this one away. It's a long, long chase for Inchan Sharma, and he finally gets to it after Sankaran takes a couple of runs. Manoj Acharya, the captain, a wizard with the ball. He has 62 wickets coming into this. He came in as number 10 all-time in minor league cricket. And this one is cut away, but this one is in the air. Nobody's out there. 1, 2, 3 hops it over. So Sankaran does very well on his first 2 swings of the bat. And they are 6 for none. Vaibhav Sankaran, playing in his first season of minor league cricket. And based down in Florida, I believe. As Acharya comes in, and a great good comeback from the captain. No contact made. As you see a replay of it here. Aryan Joshi, by the way, is the other opener. As you see the swing, no contact. Aryan Joshi also in his first full season with minor league cricket. And in his only appearance on yesterday in the loss to the Philadelphians, only managed 2 runs. Acharya will come in once again from the river end. Dabbed away to the offside by Sankaran, but not far enough to score. So a couple of dot balls in reply for Manoj Acharya. We mentioned at the top the changes. There weren't any changes for the Manhattan Yorkers. The same 11 players that played yesterday in their loss to the New York City Titans remained. Maui Pali and Mahesh Ram came in for Hamad Tanvir and Earl Henningham for the New England Eagles. Cut away by Sankaran, and 4 more. He's taking advantage of the fielding restrictions and has picked up 2 boundaries in the process. And at the end of the first over, they're 10 without loss. As we see it again, Manuja Charia, again with his pace, maybe taking a little bit off, but a good job of finding where to swing for Vaibhav Sankaran, and he gets 4 more runs. One more ball to go here in the 10th. Yeah, I can count the 6. Why not? And this time Sankaran plays a defensive shot, but not able to retain the strike. And that ends the first over. The Eagles are 10 for none as they are chasing a target of 153. So 10 for none as we are underway once again. And it will be Dhruv Pawar who will come in. And Pawar, another excellent bowling talent for the Manhattan Yorkers. And there's a lot of bowling talent on here, so this is not going to be an easy task at all for the New England Eagles. And I think Dhruv Pawar is perhaps happy that he didn't end up having to bat. But he will come in with the ball and see if he can help his team to a victory that way. And Joshi's first delivery is cut away to the offside. They get a single, and it will bring Sankaran back. Dhruv Pawar, last season, he's actually played in the last 2 seasons, and all with the Manhattan Yorkers, took 3 wickets in 2 games in 2023. Last year, he took 2 wickets in 4 games. Now, all 3 of those wickets in 2023 were in 1 game, back on September 17th of 23. Left-hander to the right-handed Sankaran, who cuts it away. Inchan Sharma is there. So 12 for none. The run rate is, I think, relatively manageable. And right now, considering that they have 12 runs. And Aryan Joshi had to back himself off before playing that away. We get another run out of it. We've seen on multiple occasions, especially in this, when you're talking about a target of 150, taking a run of ball is okay as long as you build a foundation at some point of 4s and 6s. And this one is chipped up in the air, but the fielder coming over, he makes a nice stop in front of the boundary, whips it back in. They get a couple more. So Sankaran goes to 13, and Dhruv Pawar trying to bowl to the outside. $15 for none. And Sankaran tried to go down on his knees. It ends up catching him on the shoulder. And in fact, has given us a wide. So the first extra of the innings for the New England Eagles is the umpire shaking his head there. That would be umpire Sandeep Sandhi alongside umpire Ishan Malay. And again on the stumps and played defensively by Sankaran. 1 ball still to come. 16 for none. And chasing a target of 153. and smacked away once again. Sankaran not able to take a run, so a good comeback from Dhruv Purwar, who ends up giving up 6 in his first over of bowling. Chasing 152 after 2 overs, the New England Eagles are 16 for none. It's a good holiday for some liquid refreshment and cricket, and those fans are taking both in. In fact, here at the New York Ovals, it was a good day. 3 games total on the day, and a couple of games that have gone down to the final over. The New Jersey Stallions really had to claw their way back to account for the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. It looked like they were in control, fell behind, and then went on to win with 3 balls left. And then the NYC Titans picked up their 3rd victory over the Philadelphians. Again, winning in the last over, winning by 7 wickets. We'll see if this game has the same flair for the dramatic. As Joshi begins the second over, facing Manoj Acharya, who continues from the river end. And they get a run, and that'll bring Sankaran back. We said a total of 11 games on offer here this weekend across minor league cricket. A few of them have completed. 3 of them were rained out in Texas. Sankaran to face Acharya. And well struck. Does it have the distance? It does on a couple of hops, but it's another boundary. And Sankaran gets 4 more. Another boundary. He is hitting them to all parts. And in just again in the wheelhouse. His 3rd 4. And Vaibhav Sankaran now goes to 17 off of 11. Easy fluid swing for the young man. And Acharya comes back and gets a dot ball. 21 for none. It's been a really good day of cricket. And there is more action. You can check out the results, the schedules, the standings, the statistics, everything at crickclubs.com/MILC. Acharya. This one is slapped to the onside. It is fielded in the deep, but another couple of runs by Sankaran, who goes to 19 off of 13, 23 for none. And I'm interested to see how they go about building this chase. Aryan Joshi, he's up here as the openers, and they've got, the amount of talent that New England has. It'll be interesting to see how Joshi responds. Played the 3rd man, but defended by the man there. 1 ball to go in the 3rd over. I think it was Preet Shah who was able to get to it and prevent the run from being scored. Manoj Acharya will head back to his mark for the final ball of his 2nd over. This one is hit well, but is it hit far enough? Well, it will land in the field of play. And it was Derek Narayan who came over to cut things off right before it got to the boundary. So they get a couple more here. You see a nice fluid stroke, one right at the shins. And because of the fielding restrictions, nobody there until Narayan came to cut it off. 3 overs complete. The New England Eagles chasing 152 or 25 without loss. So a new bowler. And it is Farhan Ali. Ali, as we said, has played mostly in the Pacific Conference in the Central Division for the Michigan Cricket Stars and the Chicago Tigers. And he bowls into the ribcage of Arian Joshi, and they'll take a run from that. Ali so far, 1 wicket yesterday in his debut. He hadn't bowled in minor league cricket in 2024, but has taken 2 wickets in the game 6 times. A total of 18 for his minor league cricket career. As Vaibhav Sankaran drives this one deep and away for 6. What a shot by Sankaran. And the New England Eagles, well, this guy's a really good opener. And he is showing you why. He has absolutely been smacking the ball. 35, 38, 16, 39, and now 27. And this is a team that I think hasn't had a guy like this at the top of their lineup in some time. Cut away this time by Sankaran. The fielder is there. Zips it back in. Another run. And that'll bring Arian Joshi back to strike 33 for none. 3.5 overs in. Been interesting to see again. And I like the way that Sankaran has set up. He hasn't been rushed. We'll see how Joshi goes. And he plays this one to the offside, and they're going to scramble to get back. A good throw would have gotten him, and they're going to get an overthrow out of this. And I saw Sankaran as he was coming down. He was about halfway down the wicket before Joshi got up. He was in a prone position. And you get the feeling just in seeing that shot how far the ball went behind the wicketkeeper. That is Pranav Chattopadhyay, who is set up behind the wickets as the backstop for Ali. Cut away to the offside and done so nicely. 2 more runs, most likely. They'll get 1, and they'll like it. 35 for none. And Sankaran is on to 29. We have not seen a half century over on this field. We almost saw a century over on the other field. Garanchu Sharma putting up 89 from the opener spot in the Titans' victory over the Philadelphians. Everything you thought you knew about the Eastern Division, I think, is slightly tweaked this year. And did he get it? I think he did. He did. He got a thick top edge. And so we were talking about Arian Joshi and how he would do in the opener's role. Well, he's gone inside the power play. And Farhan Ali gets the wicket on the final ball of the 4th over. This one was a bouncer. It just rubbed the top of the bat on the way through to Pranav Chattopadhyay. And the Yorkers take a big early wicket. Joshi goes for 5. New England 35 for 1 after 4. So 118 runs required off of 96 balls, and it will be Rishikesh Bodhigam who will come in. And Bodhigam was part of the trio that was hat-tricked yesterday against the Philadelphians. He comes out here now. Dhruv Pawar will come back into the attack. So we'll see how Bodhigam does. In fact, he was the first of the three to be dismissed in the hat trick. As Sankaran will keep the strike. Manoj Acharya setting his field. And Dhruv Pawar, who gave up just the 6 runs in the opening over, will come and continue in once again from the river end. And now Sankaran is ready, and we're ready to go. And Sankaran says, let's go deep again. But it's going to be caught this time. What a fantastic catch, and Sankaran has to go. An amazing, amazing catch in the deep. Pawar gets his man. And the Eagles lose another one inside the power play. They have lost 2 and 2 balls. They're 35 for 2. This one was hit well, and this one as well was a difficult catch. And Yasir Muhammad comes in and makes the catch going forward. It's so good we see it again. Great catch by Yasir Muhammad. And he rolls over and exults. So 2 wickets and 2 balls. 35 for 2 now. They're 1 run ahead of the par score. And Adil Nusharwan will come in. And he had 38 on Saturday in this matchup against the Manhattan Yorkers, coming off of just 9 runs yesterday. 57 total in the 3 matches so far. This is 4th match. Bowled very well, taking 2 wickets. What kind of game are we going to have here? In the last game, it was a steadfast opening partnership that was really the only bit of that was really the only thing that the New Jersey Stallions had going for them. There was not much resistance until we got down to the end, and then Jesse Singh putting on a bit of a clinic, and Anirudh Emanuel finishing it off. Nusharwan dabs down to the offside, no run. Pawar now 1 for 6 after 8 balls. We mentioned it a couple of times. The Eagles will be off next weekend. The new Manhattan Yorkers got to go down to Trenton to play the Philadelphians twice on Friday. Big swing, no contact by Nusharwan. Three balls still to come. Pawar bowling well. Nusharwan batting from the left side. In on his gloves. He'll dab it behind. A good throw gets him. There's an appeal, but I think it wasn't a direct hit. It hit off of his gloves. And the double teapot. But 1 run will be gotten by Nusharwan. As we do it, see it again. This was awfully close. And yeah, anything, I think a direct hit gets him. I don't think this is a direct hit. No, it goes off of Chattapalliam, who backhanded the ball into the wicket. but it was about 2 steps too late to get Bodegum coming in the other direction. 36 for 2. And we take a look at where the Manhattan Yorkers were. As Pawar bowls, and nope, he wanted leg before wicket but didn't get it. And we see this one again. Left arm around the wicket and went for it, and it looked like it did clatter off the pad, but I think it may not have been in line. We'll see from this angle. In fact, I don't think it hit anything on the way through. And you know what? They weren't appealing LBW. They were appealing a feather deflection. So Pawar has allowed 1 run. He's taken a wicket. And we'll bowl to Bodegum. In again on the knees. This time flicked off the pads. They'll get 1. Stopped in the deep by Inchin Sharma once again. And that will do it. So after 5 overs, the New England Eagles are 37 for 2. And they are 1 ahead of where the Manhattan Yorkers were at this juncture. 37 for 2 New England. So new bowler is Preet Shah will come in. Right-handed spinner. As you see, you saw a little bit of the backdrop there. Again, we haven't really seen much of the sun up here in Glenville. And it's been a nice cool day to end Labor Day weekend. And nice tangy breezes and weather and all that as Shah comes in and will come in a moment to bowl to Bodegum as umpire Sandeep Sandy gives the wave device. You see Preet Shah, 16 wickets in this his 22nd match. And that one is cut away. Good stop in the outfield. That should limit to damage to 1. In fact, it did limited it to damage to 0. Preet Shah also played with the New Jersey Stallions. He's taken 2 3-fers, once at the beginning of the season last year. It was a year ago yesterday, in point of fact. And Bodegum on a full toss turns this one around. Fielder is coming around. He ain't going to get it. First boundary for Rishikesh Bodegum. 41 for 2 New England. And Bodegum poised perhaps for a big inning here. He's gonna need it. And a mistake from Preet Shah, who tried to put a lot of spin on it. Wouldn't have mattered, though, because it was too full. And punished rightfully by Rishikesh Bodegum. Nusharwan at the other side. You see Shah directing the field alongside Captain Manoj Acharya. And bowls this one quite wide. In fact, given as a wide. And that one, good stop by Pranav Chettopalyam to prevent more extras from being available. .42 for 2. Another full toss, but a check swing and drop in the outfield there after the ball rolled along the ground will allow Bodegum to take a run. That'll bring up Nusharwan once again. The Eagles have always been a team. They've always played well, and they've sometimes beaten teams that they've not really expected to. But they are poised, one feels, for a breakout season. And I feel like even during their run a few years ago where they finished in third. This is the best I've seen them play in watching their first 3 games. Dab down to the onside. No run by Noshirwan. 2 balls left in the power play. And at this point in the power play, the Manhattan Yorkers also they were 42 for none. Backing away is Noshirwan and gets by one fielder, but not the second. Good stop out there. We'll take another single. 44 for 2. Well, that was when the first wicket of Derek Narine went down. Last ball of the power play. Bodegum walks across the wicket and pulls this to the onside. And knocked down by Dinesh Patel, and that will do it. They take one more. They are slightly ahead after the power play. 6 complete, chasing a target of 153. The New England Eagles are 45 for 2. Yasser Muhammad will get the ball after making that amazing catch to retire Vaibhav Sankaran. And he is a more well-known with his prowess with the ball, except he just scored 33 runs. 34 runs. And I think saved his team's innings a bit, as this one is slapped to the offside, and Bodegum will not be able to take a run from that. Numbers on Muhammad, his 43rd match. He has taken 34 wickets, his best showing 4 for 30, which was all the way back in season 1. Cut away to the offside once again, bounces through and taking it to deep. Another run for Bodegum. He goes to 8. The run rate, it's about even Stevens right now. The asking rate is 7.8, and the run rate for the Eagles is 7.26. And this is we've seen. It's been interesting in watching all three games today, and then the earlier game, a game that seemed like the New Jersey Stallions were going to walk home with it. The great fight back by the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, and that left the tail to do the rest. It was basically down to them. Noshirwan cuts this one away. Fielder running around. He gets to it, zings it back in. They'll come back for a second and get there easily. Noshirwan gets another couple, 48 for 2. And he's adjusting his pad. Take a look at games that are happening right now. And there are only 2 other games live right now. The Silicon Valley Strikers setting a target of 217 against the San Diego Surf Riders. And as everybody is taking the opportunity here to do some stretches and relieve some cramps. We mentioned the 217 for 4 by the Silicon Valley Strikers. Ahmad Arapali 73 and Raymond Reefer 61 not out for the Strikers. And looks like they're going to pick up. I mean, seeing the Surf Riders so far this season, I doubt It'll take something special, I think, for the Surf Riders to win that game. And over the other game that's happening right now, the Chicago Tigers and the Lone Star Athletics, the only game that has gone off in Texas, the other three being rained out. The Tigers setting the Lone Star Athletics a target of 116, and right now the Athletics looking pretty good for that. They're 46 for 4 after 8. So as Noshirwan continues to work on his pad, we'll tell you as well. You hear all the stats that we're giving you. You can follow along on crickclubs.com/MILC. And of course, you can follow along on social media. We're MILC USA on Instagram and on Twitter/X, whatever you're calling it these days. It's MIL Cricket. And if you want to say hello to me, I'm Brian_Barish on the Bird site. I'm on Blue Sky as well, Brian Barish. And Noshirwan, again, just checking to make sure his pads are okay. Also checking to make sure that nothing is hurting at the moment. A long day for all and sundry. Began with the first game at 10:30 this morning. And we still have 13 and a half overs at most to go. Assuming, of course, we don't have a super over, but hopefully I didn't manifest that into existence. Muhammad continues. Cut away and cut to third man off the defender. I mean, that might have been Manoj Acharya. In fact, it was. No run, however, for Noshirwan. Yasser Muhammad bowling well here in the early going. And, tried to cut it away. It was down to the ground. And Yasser Muhammad's throw was almost the exact same motion as the ball came out when it came off of Noshirwan's bat. Final ball of the 7th over. And this one is popped in the air. Is there a fielder? There is, and there's a wicket. And so Noshirwan played delicately and has to go. He is holed out. And taking the catch was Dinesh Patel, who can do it with the bat and do it with his hands. Noshirwan goes for 4 after 9 deliveries. 48 for 3, New England. And a wide ball that he got underneath a little bit. And there is Dinesh Patel. It was an atom ball. Straight down his throat. He takes the catch. And so Yasser Muhammad picks up a wicket. And at the end of 9 overs, the end of 7 overs, beg your pardon, 48 for 3. So the New England Eagles, we said that, they were able to score 165 runs yesterday, and they only needed 153 today. Of course, they're playing a different team and batting in different conditions. But it is Apurva Maheshram who will go out to bat alongside Rishikesh Bodhigam, and Bodhigam will retain the strike because they are at the end of the over. So it'll be Maheshram who will have a Bob Uecker seat to start this over. That's because he's right there in the front row. That's for those of you who appreciate the Bob Uecker references. We say hello to everybody who's out watching. Want to say hello to Aaron Kane, who's watching up in Boston. Big New England Eagles fan. Also a fan of Ugandan cricket. As Purwar continues from the Mohawk highway end, and Bodhigam cuts it away to the onside. They'll take one. They might have enough time to take a second. And they have not. It was just a single, and that will bring Apurva Maheshram to the strike. Maheshram with the bat. As we take a look at the numbers here, this is 31st match. He has 459 runs to his name. He has had 1 century. And that was in season 2 as he defends forward, and they'll kick on for a run, but not get it. It'll be a dot ball. Maheshram, 52 on July 23rd of 2022. Since then, his highest score was 37, and that's the only time he's been out of the 30s since then. He opens up and cuts it away, but again, right to a fielder, and so Purwar has come back and bowled pretty well. And this time, Maheshram opens up. Did he get under this? He did. There's a catch opportunity that goes wasted. It goes right through his hands, through Derek Narain, who usually catches those. And, well, the Eagles gave the Yorkers a wicket. They gave away a wicket for them. And Derek Narain, who lost it perhaps in the crowd, saw it go right through his hands. That inconspicuously brings up the 50 as Bodegum turns this one to the inside. And they'll take one more run, 51 for 3. Derek Narain, as we said, a good, capable fielder, but on this occasion, he was flummoxed and otherwise bamboozled by a towering pop-up. Final ball of the 8th over. 102 needed off of 73. And this one is driven by Maheshram. Almost stopped there nicely. In fact, it was. And that'll do it. Purwar bowls well. He gives up just 3 runs. The New England Eagles, after 8, are 51 for 3. Well, the Eagles are behind not only where the Yorkers were at this juncture, as Yasser Muhammad will continue from the river end. The Yorkers were 60 for 1 after 8. The DLS par score is 60, so they're 9 runs behind that. So any way you slice it, the Eagles trail. And the Yorkers, again, trying to hold on for their first victory of the season after going 0-3 to start. And the Eagles trying to prove that they're not the same old Eagles. Bodegum just whacks this one to the onside. They'll come through for a single. In fact, Yasser Muhammad had to go all the way down and chase it himself. As that side of the field mostly vacant, he said, I'll do it myself. 52 for 3. Maheshram now comes up. As Muhammad comes in, again, turned to the onside by Maheshram, right to the fielder, no run. They've done well, the bowlers, to stop the attack here. They haven't had a boundary since the 6th. Cut away to the onside. Muhammad thought that was a chance to trap Maheshram for a wicket, but to no avail. They come through and take a run. So now exactly 100 runs is needed from 71 balls. The asking rate is 8.7, and they are getting just over a run a ball. And going for the reverse sweep, he sees an open spot at fine leg. They're going to run for a while. Narain has to come all the way back to get it. He does, and he manages to keep them to 2. Good idea by Rishikesh Bodhagam, but the slow outfield prevents it possibly from becoming a 4. There's a lot of green everywhere on this field. If there's any more grass, it would be a Jimmy Buffett concert. This one is cut away right to a fielder. And Bodhagam remains on 13. 1 ball to come here in the 9th. And when we come back in the 9th, we'll go through what each team's schedule looks like coming up. And this one is turned around by Bodhagam, again going the fine leg. They'll get 1. They'll get 2. They might be able to get a 3rd, and they are. Bodhagam was 45 degrees to the ground when he made up his mind, but he was able to get back, and he will retain the stride after legging out a 3. 3, 5, 6, 7 runs in the 9th over off of Yasser Muhammad, who's now 1 for 10 from 2. At the end of 9, the New England Eagles are 58 for 3, needing 95 to win. Drew Perwar will come back into the attack from the Mohawk Highway end. I promised we would go through the schedule for you and take a look at how teams are next week. And of course, we've mentioned a few times that the Yorkers will be in Trenton next week for a twofer with the Philadelphians. And the following week, they will play the New Jersey Stallions on Saturday the 13th as Bodhagam starts off the 10th over with a cut shot through square all the way down the Yasser Muhammad. They take a run, 59 for 3. So on Saturday the 13th, they'll play the New Jersey Stallions, and on Sunday the 14th, they'll play the Stallions again as Mahesh Ram goes down on his knees to try a slog sweep, but not able to get to it. And then the Eagles, they have a game on Friday against the Cavaliers. In fact, they'll play a twofer with them, once on Friday and once on Saturday the 13th, as Mahesh Ram will get a run here, cutting it away to the offside, 60 for 3. Do they have a game on Sunday is the question, and they do against the NYC Titans. All of those games are here at the New York Oval here in Glenville, as Rishikesh Bodhagam again opens up and cuts it away. They'll take another run. 61 for 3, and if you're Manoj Acharya and the Manhattan Yorkers, again, you're okay with the whole 1 run a ball thing because they need 9 runs and over. And Mahesh Ram steps up and cuts it away. Again, they field it in the deep, and another run comes off the total. And that will do it for, we'll have one more, sorry. So 62 for 3, last ball of the first half of this innings. And going for the reverse and coming up with neutral, nothing. 4 runs off of Dhruv Purwar, and we are at the halfway point. We'll take drinks. The New England Eagles need 91 from the final 60. They're 62 for 3. We'll be back after we have some liquid refreshment. Now we're back here at New York Ovals. Brian Barish here with you. Glad to have you along as we get set for the final 10 overs, regulation at least, of the day. The third and final game of the day here in Glenville, New York. It's been a great day of cricket, two very exciting games, and one that hopefully will live up to the other two as we run through the other scores that we have here, just things that have happened during the day. As we take a look, before we get to that, we'll take a look at how the New England Eagles have shown so far. Rishikesh Bodhigam and Apurva Maheshram doing a good job out there. Bodhigam 18 for 17. Vaibhav Sankaran looked like he was going to kick on for a bit, but Yasir Muhammad making a fantastic catch to get him out on 29. Here's the bowlers. Dhruv Pawar, Farhan Ali, and Yasir Muhammad each have one. Manoj Acharya bowling decently. The captain giving up 19 runs, and Preet Shah has given up 8 in his spell so far. Pawar has been bowled out, so he's 1 for 15. That'll be his numbers today. And you see when the wickets fell. As the New England Eagles make their way back out onto the field, so too do the Manhattan Yorkers. The Yorkers, again, trying to defend a total of 152. If they do that, they'll have their first win of the season. New England looking to finish the weekend at 2-2. And it will be Ali who will come back in. So Farhan Ali, and again, just some of the other matches that have happened around. As we mentioned, the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers falling to the New Jersey Stallions in a thriller. 3-wicket victory by the New Jersey Stallions. The Philadelphians fell to the New York City Titans by 7 wickets with 3 balls left. The Titans chasing down a target of 160 thanks to Garachu Sharma's 89. The LA Lashings fell to the San Ramon Grizzlies in the first of 2 games between those two teams. The Atlanta Fire chasing down a target of 121 to defeat the Fort Lauderdale Lions to go to 3-0. They did that with 6 runs to spare, and they did it basically without Stephen Taylor, who was dismissed for 1 run early on. And then the one game in Texas that has gone off so far, the Chicago Tigers, with a total of 115. The Lone Star Athletics are 36 for none, trying to chase down a target of 116, 3.5 in. As you see, Yasir Muhammad, it looks like there's a question about why he's wearing a hand brace, and the umpires have told him no. So he will have to do so without it. Curious as to how long he had that on. Now, we mentioned that because all the other games, they had started the game between Kings 11 Dallas and the Michigan Cricket Stars. They got 3 balls in, and they were expecting to only play a 10-over match, and they couldn't even get 3 balls in before the rain washed that away. So we continue with Farhan Ali. And Maheshram gets under this a bit, but it will drop safely. Picking that one up on a hop is Yasir Muhammad and whips it back in. And Apurva Maheshram able to get a run off of that, 63 for 3. 90 required off of 54. So a run and a half a ball basically at this point. And they need to find offense from somewhere, and I'm curious at which point we'll see Bodhigam accelerate. It's not on this occasion. He just got a thick edge to it, but it dropped down in front of Pranav Chetapalliam behind the wicket. 63 for 3 remains the score. Great to be back and commentating minor league cricket here in the 5th season. Can't believe it's been around for 5 years already. And a lot of fantastic memories of the first 4 seasons, and already a few being made here in season 2025. A lot of chatter going on the Discord and all that fun stuff as Ali comes in to Bodhigam, and Bodhigam got twisted into a pretzel. I think he was trying to go down and sweep that. I was utterly surprised when he saw the ball rising like right at his eyeballs. In fact, I think it bounced over him. He was trying to go for the sweep, but good ball by Farron Ali, who's back and on the mark. And he opens up and drives this one to the onside. They'll take one run. The ball slows down. And good job out there by Deep Patel. .64 for 3. Bodegum, I think, has the possibility here if he can get into it. He might be the salvation for the Eagles in this innings. Cuts this one away, right there on a hop to send it right back. Not on that occasion. One ball to go home in the 11th over. The Manhattan Yorkers, they're a team that they have struggled the last couple of years. Of course, they finished tied last year with the New England Eagles, but they won. They were in the playoffs in the first season. And this one is popped up high in the air. Is there a fielder? There is, but he's beyond the rope as Yasser Muhammad turns and watches it go onto the other field. Apurva Maheshram ends this over with a massive 6. And the New England Eagles, after 11, go to 70 for 3. This one was golfed, and it looked like it had more height than distance, and it may have. But Yasser Muhammad wished he was a little bit taller. He wished he was a baller. None of that happened. It was a Yorker-length delivery and an easy, smooth swing by Apurva Maheshram. 9 overs to go. The New England Eagles, 70 for 3. They need 83 to win. Well, whenever you see somebody running through the pitch, you know that we've got a new bowler, and it is Inchin Sharma, who has the ball from the Mohawk Highway end. Sharma, another guy who he can bat, but definitely more of a threat with the ball. And he's only his second time bowling this season as Bodegum defends to the onside and is able to whack it through for a single. So, in fact, no, he didn't. He, again, took off running like he was going to run for a single, but didn't. So 70 for 3 remains the score. He bowled in 3 innings last year, did Inchin Sharma. Took 2 wickets in the game on September 21st and comes in. Bodegum opens up and again cuts this one away, and he finds a gap, and he finds 4 runs. Goes all the way into the scorers table. And so Rishikesh Bodegum, it's been a while since he's had one of those on this difficult wicket. And he goes to 23, a good cut shot. And rolls all the way to the equipment shed. So he goes to 23, 74 for 3, 79 required off of 52 balls. The par score, they're only 6 behind that. Sharma back, and he comes again to Bodegum. Oh, went for a same kind of wristy undercut shot and went completely underneath the ball. And very lucky he didn't catch an edge. Inchin Sharma was ready to celebrate and then stopped. So 79 required with 51 balls to play with. Sharma comes in again. And that one was cut away as Bodegum was expecting a ball towards the leg stump, and he flailed at one that went towards the off stump. He got absolutely nothing on it and managed to get a single out of it. He'll take them any way you come. He'll take them any way they come. 75 for 3 now, and Mahesh Ram is back on strike. Went for the same type of swing and again went under it. Good job by Inchin Sharma. And you see, this is the same thing. They're expecting the ball, I think, to pitch a little bit higher than they are. And on this field, on this pitch, the ball is keeping low. It's not like Mercer Park was a couple of years ago where it seemed like you were bowling into a sandbox the closer you got to the wicket. But the ball is staying a little bit low, it seems. Last ball of the over is through the air. Is it caught? It is. A fantastic catch taken, and Apurva Maheshram has to go as Sharma gets a wicket to finish off the 12th over. Maheshram tried to go through the air, and it was a line drive right at the fielder at mid-on, or at mid-wicket, beg your pardon. And he tried to get that out of his hips, went down to his right knee, and took a fair dinkum catch. And the Eagles are now 75 for 4. And it was, in fact, it was Ali, beg your pardon, who took the catch. So Farhan Ali has a catch to go with his wicket. And after 12, a new batter will come out. Bodegum will face 75 for 4. "78 runs required off of 48 balls, and the Manhattan Yorkers are in good shape. But we saw this happen before where the runs dried up for the New Jersey Stallions, and they were able to fight back thanks to their captain, Jesse Singh. And then Anna Rhoda Manuel helped guide them home. But really, the runs hadn't been flowing as much. Here is the captain, speaking of which, in Rizwan Mazar, and he takes a wild flail at Yasser Muhammad's first offering. Yasser 1 for 10. And again, a fantastic catch earlier. Again, walking across, Bodegum skies this one deep and out of here for 6. Rishikesh Bodegum with the power and the fury. And he is on the sunny side of the strike rate. He's on the 30. Good length, but not in a place where you want to bowl to Rishikesh Bodegum. And 6 more runs. Right up at the letters. 81 for 4. We could use another one of those, except this time it is pulled to the onside. It is a worm-burning, finger-breaking mongrel of a ball. They'll take a run, and now Rizwan Mazar will step into the crease for the first time from the striker's end. And Rizwan Mazar, as we said, he's the captain. And he hits this one in the air, catches the call, but nope, not going to get one. It is a 6 for Rizwan Mazar. 2 6s in the over for the New England Eagles. They needed to do that to stay within sniffing distance. And you could see Yasser Muhammad want the catch, but they would have needed a scooter to get to that one. And Rizwan Mazar, who had a half century in the game yesterday against the Philadelphians, he had 56, and Muhammad gives up a wide. So Yasser Muhammad, who bowled well in his first over, has now given up 14 runs in this one. He still has 2 more to bowl. That 56 was joint for his highest score in minor league cricket. And he'll take a run, will Rizwan Mazar. 90 for 4, and Bodegum will face the last ball of the 13th over. 4 half centuries for Rizwan Mazar. So the Yorkers not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. As Bodegum taps this one down, they won't get a run. And that will do it. 13 overs complete. The New England Eagles need 63 from the final 42 balls. They are 90 for 4. Inchin Sharma gets the ball once again from the Mohawk Highway end. 7 overs to go. Rizwan Bazar can put together a good output here. And if Rishikesh Bodegum can avoid not getting out cheaply, I think the Eagles are a chance. Inchin Sharma comes in with his first ball. Big swing, no ding. They were appealing that he caught a top edge. But umpire Sandeep shakes his head. Sandeep Sandy looks like he could play in a rock band. He really does. He has that Carlos Santana thing happening, as you see, just missed out. And they have a new wicket keeper. It is not Pranav Chattopadhyay anymore. It is, in fact, Dinesh Patel. Well, there's two numbers. I think there's two number 7s. I believe it is Dinesh Patel, but it is the number 7 back there. And that one will be given as a wide as Inchin Sharma bowls out too far outside the tram lines, and Rizwan Mazar very patient. Another run peels off. We mentioned all the rain issues that they were having in Texas, and we hear from our sources down there that more rain is coming, and that game might fall to the DLS method, and Rizwan Mazar again tries to open up and again makes absolutely no content. So it is Tim Lowell who is mentioning this to us, as Lone Star Athletic is trying to catch up to the Chicago Tigers. And Sharma thought about coming forward. Now he will, as Rizwan Mazar stands in. And he opens up and blasts this one down the ground. And it is caught in the deep. And I believe it's Yasser Muhammad. Yes, sir, Yasser. And probably one of the biggest hopes in the tail end, Rizwan Mazar has hit it to Yasser Muhammad. And he leaves after just 7 runs. He was trying to go downtown and go to long off. And a great catch falling backwards by Yasser Muhammad, who is pumped, stoked, amped, and otherwise psyched. 5th wicket goes down for the New England Eagles. They're 91 for 5. They need 62 from the final 39. The shadows are getting long. 2nd wicket for Inchin Sharma, who now is 2 for 6 from 9 balls. As we take a look, and it will be Imrul Hashib who comes in at number 7. Hashib batting. This is his 10th innings batting. And he's only batted twice so far this season. He had 10 on Friday, but was dismissed for a duck. In fact, was part of the hat trick by Devashwari Prashad. He does have a high from 2022 of 39 runs. Well, Rishikesh Bodegum, I think now at this point is going to be the key to the victory here. And I mean, Hashib, as we said, he knows how to score runs, but I have a feeling that the linchpin of this is going to be Bodegum on the other side. "91 for 5, the New England Eagles. And at this point, now they're only 8 runs behind where the Yorkers were at this juncture. And Hashib with a half-hearted swing that goes on to the keeper, no run. 2 balls to come. And the par score, they're 10 runs behind that, 101 to 91. As you see, a nervous New England Eagles dugout. It is a little chilly over there. We see a couple of long sleeves and a hoodie or two. The Sheeb again sees that ball go outside and again cannot make contact. 1 ball to come in this 14th over, and the run rate has now gone over 10. We saw the New Jersey Stallions come back at one point when it looked like their required run rate was up close to two runs a ball. And that one is cut away into the ground, and they will not attempt a run. The 2 number ones in the middle of the ground. A great over by Inchin Sharma. He gave up just the 1 wide. He takes a wicket. 6 overs remaining in the day. The New England Eagles 91 for 5. They need 62 off the final 36 balls to win. So Yasser Muhammad will come in and finish off his bowling day. He's had a pretty good day. He's 1 for 25 and came through with 34 big runs in the death offensively as Bodegum takes the first delivery he sees and smacks it to the onside. And they will come through for a single. He's on to 32. Dinesh Patel has the high score of the game so far. He had 46 and looked like he was in good shape to get a half century before being caught by Oroganti. Yasser Muhammad, in addition to, he, for me, has been the player of the game so far. And he dabs the ball down to the onside. Good one-handed stop opportunity by Deep Patel, but they'll still get a run. Hashib is off the mark, 93 for 5, so 60 from the final 34. Run rate, 10.5. And a big reverse swing opportunity there. Yasser Muhammad turns around and to the umpire like, couldn't that have been leg before or something? Or what if I swing my arms like this? Or let's see it again. Let's see if it hits the pad. It hit the bat and went behind. It looked like it hit the bat after the bounce and kind of on the follow-through. Well, I thought it hit the bat. The replay said it hit the bat. It's going to end up being 1 leg by. And now they go with the reverse. Does Hashib, and they will not be able to get a run from that. Good idea from Hashib, but no run. 94 for 5. Bodegum on the other side with 32. The run rate now over 11. Hit in the air. Going back. Coming in. Making the catch. Hashib is gone. Another wicket goes down. And Yasser Muhammad has 2 wickets on a fantastic day for the veteran. And the Eagles are in all sorts, 94 for 6. And once again, it's Ali. Farron Ali takes his second catch of the afternoon to go with the wicket he took of Aryan Joshi earlier. He went down. He got a fair bit of the ball, but not enough. And you see the reaction from the field. So Hashib goes down for 1 off of 6. 94 for 6, 59 from 31. They are 19 runs now behind the par score. And here is Vasudeva Reddy Malipalli. Malipalli, just 62 runs scored in his 7 matches. And was bowled for a duck. He was, he too was bowled for a duck yesterday. And he skies this one. Will anybody come over? Did he get it? No, he dropped it. Oh, he had an opportunity. That could have been 2 and 2. They do run through for 1. And Malipalli is let off the hook. So they gift them another wicket. This one, or perhaps gift them an extra wicket. And a good chance in there, but he was able to find a spot in the field where there was nobody there. Not able to take the catch. So the end of the 15th over, 95 for 6. We head into the death overs now. And Inchin Sharma comes in for his 3rd. The Eagles need 58 off of 30, so that's essentially 2 runs a ball. And Bodegum, who is on the non-striker's end, is the man who could get it as Malipalli swings under that ball. Goes through to the keeper. Manoj Acharya still has 2 overs. Farhan Ali still has 2 overs. Preet Shah has only bowled 1. Yasir Muhammad is bowled out 2 for 28, and Dhruv Pawar was bowled out earlier in the innings 1 for 15. In fact, I think he was bowled out before the 10th. Drubbed into the ground once again by Malipalli. The bowling numbers, Inchin Sharma 2 for 6 so far. He is the best bowler. Yasir Muhammad 2 for 28. Farhan Ali 1 for 18. Dhruv Pawar 1 for 15. Acharya is 0 for 19, and Preet Shah, his 1 over, is none for 8. Rishikesh Bodegum is the top scorer for the New England Eagles, 32 not out, but he waits on the other side as Malipalli faces another Inchin Sharma delivery. Hit well, hit deep enough? No. It is caught deep, almost right on the rope, and Malipalli goes, another wicket has fallen. And Inchin Sharma has a 3-fer, and Malipalli put a lot of power behind it. It was hit all the way to the rope. He was stationed on the rope. There was no room for error here. And he makes the catch in HD. And it is Preet Shah who was there. He didn't have said if he takes 1 step back, he's over the rope. Sharma is 3 for 6 after 2.5 overs. New England is looking, it's slim and none are the chances, and Slim is packing his bags. And now it is Noman Iftikhar who will come out at number 9. 95 for 7. We were hoping with 2 games that were decided in the final over earlier today here in this Eastern Division, we were hoping this would be the same, but perhaps not a whole lot of inspiration here for the New England Eagles. Noman Iftikhar, just 91 runs. Again, a guy who's known more for that last number, the wickets number. And swings at a wide ball. 2 more balls to come for Inchin Sharma. Iftikhar's highest is 14, and you got to go all the way back to July of 2022. He did get 13 in a game last season, but he averages just 7 runs per trip to the crease offensively. And and thought at playing a wide ball. Great ball from Inchin Sharma. And he is one ball away from a wicket maiden, and a wicket maiden that may be the death knell for the New England Eagles. Again, the Yorkers looking to get their first win, and they are perhaps 4 overs away. And cut away by Noman Iftikhar, stopped in the deep. They want a second. It's going to be very close. A direct hit would have gotten it, and the ball bounces away. So the wicket maiden goes by the wayside as they pick up 2 runs. Noman Iftikhar is off the mark. 16 overs complete. The New England Eagles are 97 for 7. They need 56 from the final 24 to win. So 4 overs remaining, 3 overs remaining. No, I was right the first time. It's 4 overs remaining. It's been a long day. And it is Farron Ali who comes in from the river end, and Bodegum just guides it to the offside and will take another run. Bodegum's played well. He's not had a whole lot of support on the other side, but perhaps at some point we've been waiting for him to try and accelerate. I think now's the time, although Farron Ali was a good bowler. Interesting to see. You'll probably see Manuja Charya in the death. There is a swing, and this one is driven along the ground. Man comes all the way over. That is Deep Patel. And Iftikhar comes back for, well, they'll get a single for that. Well, they will get 2. Bodegum, Iftikhar does come back for 2. And that finally brings up the 100 for the New England Eagles. They're 100 for 7. And they're about 16 runs behind where the Yorkers were. This one into the ground. Iftikhar will take a single and will bring Bodegum back to strike. At the end of this over, at the end of the 17th, the Manhattan Yorkers were 116 for 5. But you also have to remember that they scored 34 runs in the final 2 overs. Now, if they go at the rate that they had been going, then they only need probably about 25 to win and not 52. But if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Bouncer slogged by Bodegum and over everybody's head for a 6. Rishikesh Bodegum is having a day. His team is hanging on by a thread, but he's trying to climb it. And he goes to 39, his second maximum of the afternoon. Well, he's not done it with a whole lot of power, Rishikesh Bodegum. Just 4 boundaries on the day, 2 4s and 2 6s. And now, will that be the signal of Wagons Ho? 46 required from 18. The run rate, the required rate, is a shade under 14. They have 10 with 2 balls to come. Bodegum, this one again is in the air, and this one will be safe all the way down to fine leg and will run all the way to the boundary. Back-to-back boundaries for Rishikesh Bodegum. He gets 4 more. He's up to 43. 42 from 19 required. And Farron Ali, who is doing solidly, has now seen his econ rate blow up to over 11. 32 runs given up by him. And we mentioned those last 2 overs for the Yorkers, giving them an opportunity, putting them in with a good total. Can the Eagles respond with something in kind? Thought about driving it away and lucky not to get an outside edge to it. Well, they get 14 more runs than that. It's not quite over, Red Rover. The New England Eagles, 111. Lord Nelson for 7 with 3 overs to go. "42 runs off of 18. That's the equation. They are 18 runs behind the DLS par score. Noman Iftikhar will stand in, and Nomi, I think his goal will be to try and get Rishikesh Bodhigam back on strike as Acharya comes in for his penultimate over, and it's cut away by Iftikhar. Good job by Iftikhar. The question is will they want to take the second? And they do, so they'll keep Iftikhar on strike. They're looking at, I would say, more than 2 runs and over, so the run rate goes up even though they get 2. But at this point, you need boundaries. And if Bodhigam comes back, when Bodhigam comes back on strike, you'll see that, I think. Acharya, again, another ball in the same spot, and Iftikhar swings to no avail. 40 off of 16 required. Now it's 2.5 balls and over, 2.5 runs and over. Here's Manoj Acharya. 63 wickets to his name. And again, Iftikhar. And that is why I feel like they probably should have stuck with 1. I mean, you don't know what the rest of the over is going to bring, but I feel like they probably should have figured out a way to keep Rishikesh Bodhigam on strike. But I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. Acharya goes back with 3 balls to come in this 18th over. Bouncer cut away nicely by Noman Iftikhar, and they will take exactly 1 run off of it and bring Rishikesh Bodhigam back to strike. 114 for 7. And they require 39 runs off of 14 balls. They've only scored 3 runs in this over. They will not match the run rate even with 2 sixes. And again, that one is outside. An appeal for a wide, and they get it. So they'll get 1 ball back, and they'll get a run back as well. And Acharya is trying to stay with that wide line. And when you're up 37 runs with 14 balls left, you can afford to flirt with the tram lines a little bit. That one is smashed by Bodhigam, but it is gone. It is through for 4. Rishikesh Bodhigam, in fact, it has gone all the way for 6. Rishikesh Bodhigam has carried his team on his back all day. And perhaps they should have gotten him up to the strike a little bit earlier in this over. But it is smashed for 6. Preet Shah threw his hands up. 121 for 7, and Rishikesh Bodhigam is 1 run away from a maiden century. Maiden half century, beg your pardon. And he might get it here. It's in the air. And it's caught. No half century for Rishikesh Bodhigam. He is caught on the boundary. And that may be it for the New England Eagles. Bodhigam fought and fought and you knew he was going to have to take some risks here. He got under it. It was hit well, and it was hit all the way to the boundary. But for Rishikesh Podagam, it's Inchant Sharma who is there and puts it away. Just one agonizing run short of a half century. And that ends the 18th over, by the way. 121 for 8 for the New England Eagles, and it will be Navneet Uruganti, who had 2 wickets with the ball earlier today. And he is in a very difficult situation here. They need 32 off of the final 12, so 16 and over. So they're going to need some boundaries. And Noman Iftikhar, who isn't afraid to swing, even if he hasn't racked up the statistics, we'll see how he goes. Ali comes in. And there it is. A good high ball bouncer that Ali took a wild flail at. Goes through for a dot ball. 32 off 11 now. Farhan Ali, 1 for 32. If he can get out of this over with limited damage, goal will be forgiven, and you can forget about the 32 part. Big swing once again. He is bowling some filth with some bouncers, is Farhan Ali. 32 from 10. Well, they won't be able to mathematically wrap it up in this over, but it's getting pretty close. Again, 36 in a regulation over is the most runs you can score. And that's if you hit all sixes. Iftikhar creeping across, again goes for the big swing. And again, now the question is did he get the... No, Iftikhar was back. They're playing jokes with him back there, I'll tell you that. A lot of head games. But 3 dot balls for Farhan Ali. Here it is again. And you can see him sneak across the wicket. It hit backwards. He started to take off. You could see the ball hit the outside edge of the bat and turn at like a 45-degree angle. And then here it is. Yeah, he got his bat back, but it was awfully close. Iftikhar this time pokes it the other way. They'll get a single. Nobody, he says, hang on, everything's cool, honey bunny. So Iftikhar goes to 9. 31 are now required off of the final 8 balls. And now it's basically down to 6s. All 6s are needed. I mean, to Iftikhar's credit, he was swinging for the rope. Uruganti faces Farhan Ali. And again, another big swing. And Farhan Ali has put all sorts of power on the ball. And these two cannot figure out which way the ball is going once it pitches. 31 from 7. And the Yorkers trying to see out their first victory of season 2025. Final ball of the 19th over. And that one is hit well by Uruganti. Is it enough? It is, yes. Well, they'll get some runs here, as that was driven well by Navneet Uruganti. And did well to find a spot in the outfield where nobody was, as Pranav Chattopadhyay gave chase. It's 4 more. But the embers are flickering low for the New England Eagles. They need 27 off the final 6 balls to pinch this one from the Manhattan Yorkers. Manoj Acharya will bowl the final over. They're going to have to do it. If the Eagles are going to do it, they have to do it with two tail order batsmen, and they're going to have to do it off of arguably their best bowler. Cut away to the offside and through for 4. Well, that will help. Noman Iftikhar gets a boundary. That's his first, and he goes to double digits. That will be of some assistance. It's now 23 off the final 5. And Iftikhar says we are not going gentle into that good night. But you know Acharya is not going to give him anything decent to hit, or at least not going to try to. He comes forward. And this time he fences this one up in the air. Is there a fielder down there? There is. They're going to scurry to take 2. It's going to be awfully close. They'll do it. So Noman Iftikhar takes 2 more. That's not going to help the run rate much, as it still goes up 21 off of 4. And they are still going to need 4 4s at this juncture. Or a 3 or a 4 and 3 6s. Sorry, they're going to need 4 6s or a 4 and 3 6s. But Noman Iftikhar doing his best. He's 15 off of 15. Acharya comes in. And this one is whacked down to the offside, and that will get through for a 4. Well, they got to be 6s from here, but at least they're in position for it. As Iftikhar comes in again, this one hit to that third man region, but now it's got to leave the ballpark. 17 from the final 3 balls. It's in on his hands, an appeal, and he's gone. And that will well and truly do it. Noman Iftikhar is gone LBW. Manoj Acharya takes his second wicket, and that will be the victory for the Manhattan Yorkers. They finally get it in their 4th game of the weekend. And for Noman Iftikhar, a very spirited fight, but it comes to an end. 19 off of 17. Now Manoj Acharya has 2 wickets on the day. And it will be Ashwath Gurumurthy, who is the last man in. They need 17 off the final 2. And unless Manoj Acharya oversteps, this one will go into the win column for the men in the blue and gold with the blue and orange logo, which I don't understand, but whatever. It won't matter. And it means that there will be a 3-way tie at the bottom of the Eastern Division. So it'll be a 3-way tie for 4th place. It'll be the New England Eagles, the Manhattan Yorkers, and the Philadelphians of all teams. Penultimate ball of the game. And that one is missed and right into the wicketkeeper's hands by Gurumurthy. And so the final ball, as the Manhattan Yorkers will win, they'll go to 1-3. As we said, they'll be 1-3 along with the Eagles and the Philadelphians. The New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers will be in 3rd at 2-2. The NYC Titans at 3-1. And then the New Jersey Stallions at the top of the heap at 4-0. Final ball of the day here in Glenville. He says, why the heck not? We'll go with a reverse sweep. It will be 4 runs. And Gurumurthy says, if I'm going to be out here for 2 balls, we'll finish it with a flourish. But that's it. The New England Eagles come 12 runs short as we take a look at this one again by Gurumurthy, who finishes on 4 not out. And it is a 12-run victory for the Manhattan Yorkers, who played well and deserve the 2 points on the day. And a fantastic day of cricket here at the New York Ovals comes to an end. It wasn't as close as the first 2 games, but it was definitely enjoyable. Rishikesh Bodhagam comes 1 run short of a half century. He dragged his team up to this point after a great job by Vaibhav Sankaran for 29. Noman Iftikhar, a fighting 19 at the end. Inshin Sharma gets a threefer. He's 3 for 8. Yasser Muhammad and Manuja Chara each had 2 wickets each. And it was Dinesh Patel who set things up for the Manhattan Yorkers. He was 46 from 34. Yasser Muhammad at the very end, I think, though, I don't overlook that because the Yorkers were in absolute trouble. He helped them get 34 runs in the last 2 overs and 34 off of 12. That's what carried him the victory. And, if you have to give a player of the match, I would give that to him. Not only did he take 2 wickets, he made 2 great catches in the outfield. So that'll do it for us. We have, of course, more action coming up this weekend. We hope you'll join us here on the MLC Network. Until then, my name is Brian Barish, and I am wishing you a pleasant good evening.